Welcome to the third module in this course where we're going to be looking at pragmatic skills you can start using in your AI automation agency. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at everything we need to know about the ChatGPT block and the OpenAI block when it comes to formatting. More specifically, we're going to learn how to do large data outputs and large data inputs. We're going to be learning different methods and ways to ensure consistent outputs and a ton of other stuff. Let's go ahead and jump in. All right, so I went ahead and opened up a Zapier flow here. I'm going to use just a random trigger. We're going to use a scheduler because of the fact that in this tutorial, we're just going to be looking at everything we need to know about these specific blocks and their functionalities. To start off, let's understand the fundamental difference between when you would use an OpenAI block compared to a ChatGPT block. The first thing I want to point out here is that even though OpenAI has the event of send prompt, never do a ChatGPT prompt within the OpenAI block. Always do it within the native ChatGPT block, as it's going to allow for better formatting and better outputs. I went ahead and changed how this looks right now so it's a little bit easier to digest. So I went to the visual editor, as you see here. So let's go ahead and continue. Now that we know that when we use an OpenAI block, never to use the prompt function, what can we do with the OpenAI block? The OpenAI block is going to serve four major functions. It's going to be able to do transcriptions, translations, generate images, and API request. From our experience here at WebCafe AI and the clients we've worked with, the only two main ones that we've used constantly are generate image and generate transcription. Let's go ahead and understand the event of create transcription and everything we need to know about it. Let's go ahead and select it. We're going to continue here. We're going to choose our OpenAI account. So now that we've done the event of create transcription, we're going to have a couple of different action inputs that we have readily available to us, such as file, prompt, response format, and language of audio. Now, as you'll notice for the file type, it does give different formats, but as a rule of thumb, always use an audio file. Due to the fact that if you were to upload a 10-minute video compared to a 10-minute audio file, the size of the video is going to be much larger and it's going to take a lot longer for OpenAI to go ahead and digest it for the transcription. To an audio file, which file size can be tremendously smaller than when you compare a 10-minute video. Next, what you'll notice is that you need to provide a public URL of the file that you want the transcription for. Let's go ahead and just show a real quick way to do that. So this can help you with other versions of API you may to do in the future. To do so, go ahead and create a Google Drive folder, and we're going to go ahead and make sure that the underlying folder, when we press share, that anyone with the link can essentially access it. This is the first step. Next, as you'll notice, we have our audio file that we're going to do a transcription for. So let's go ahead and just copy the name here, add a step here, and we're going to do a Google Drive step. Now, this obviously can work with others, cloud-based storage such as Dropbox. We're going to do an event of find a file. Continue here, and we're going to go with our courses account here. Continue. Put our file name. So in our context, it was GPT audio. So we're going to test this action. As you see here, it shows up. Perfect. We come over here and we can go ahead and find the file that we just provided here. You don't want to do the title. You want to go ahead and do the file exists but not shown. And now we have our file. And one thing you'll notice, which is very important, is that it's a .m4a, smaller file size, and it's not going to be an MP4, which would be a video in that context. Now that we know that, I'm going to go ahead and delete this step. Let's go ahead and jump further here. So one thing that we notice here at WebCafe AI, and this might come up with different things that you're doing as a business or when you're working for other businesses, is that certain words during transcription are always spelled wrong, no matter how clear you say them over audio. Now for us, an example of that would be quite literally ChatGPT. Anytime we say the word ChatGPT with audio and have to deal with transcription, it spells out to either CHAD, GDT, GBT, and never really spells out to ChatGPT. So the use case for prompt essentially is that you're going to be able to identify certain things that happen in your transcriptions and make sure to correct them. So in this context, what we can do is anytime that ChatGPT is said, make sure to spell it like, we do semicolon, then we do parentheses here, and then we'll do the correct spelling, which is going to be ChatGPT. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, Corbin, you just said that in the audio files, they don't actually spell it right. So how would it know that I'm referring to ChatGPT with the correct spelling? Well, this is smart enough where it would be able to interpret the CHADGBT, the misspellings, as close enough to ChatGPT that would be able to reformat them to the correct output, which would be, the correct spelling, ChatGPT. Next, we can choose our response format here: text, SRT, or WebVTT, JSON, verbose JSON. I know personally SRT is a very valuable format when it comes to transcription, so that's pretty cool. And finally, you're going to want to put the language of the audio, and the way that they want you to format it is called ISO. So you put EN, that'd be for English. You can click this link and then it'll give you all the different formattings depending on your language. Okay, great. That is create transcription. Let's go ahead and check out create translation. Same concept here. Essentially what you would do is you would upload a file such as a audio file. As you see here, these are the acceptable file types that can be uploaded here. You would put a similar type of prompt, and then you'd be able to choose the output as well. All right, let's go ahead and check out the next feature here. We got generate image. Now, I really like this one as this allows for seamless content creation when you really know how to effectively structure your prompts when it comes to DALL-E. That is the system they use for AI image generation. Right off the bat, always upscale it to 1024 by 1024 unless you're testing prompts, as you're going to want the highest quality possible when generating an AI image. This essentially makes it so you can generate variations of the image. I wouldn't suggest this in the context of mass production. Maybe use this in the context of you're testing a prompt and you want to see multiple variations. So you'd put, either 5 or 6 here. I would say there are two main fundamental things to understand when creating a DALL-E prompt. First is the resource of prompt base. So essentially prompt base is a marketplace where individuals can sell AI prompts. Here, all you would need to do is go to marketplace, select DALL-E, and then there is a plethora of different types of pre-made prompts using DALL-E's engine. You can fine tune your specific category over here. So if I just wanted 3D, I could click this. So understanding that, essentially, you'll be able to choose any type of design you want to in whatever context you may be generating an AI image for. So for this one, if I really like this, I can see examples, and essentially post-purchase, it'll provide a prompt and you will essentially input a variable. So let me go ahead and show that. So this is one of the prompts we sell here on Prompt Base, and it's called Pablo Picasso Art. Once you purchase a prompt, essentially you'll be provided with the prompt right here. So let's go ahead and copy that. And you'll be provided with a testing prompt so an example variable that could be inputted there. And from there, you'll be able to see, different types of design examples. One over here, went ahead and pasted that from Prompt Base. So here's number 2 of what's important of understanding here is the actual underlying variable that needs to be inputted. Go ahead and use live data from Zapier. So what do I mean by that? Essentially, anything that happened previously in the step can be inputted here. So this doesn't really make sense, but I could put Monday here or the date. And essentially that will make sure that every single image generated will be a new type of image. Now that being said, in theory, I could put dog here. And if I generated this 100 times, every single one of those images would still be different. The question is whether you want to have, a different topic, but use the same style image, if that makes sense.